We all know that doing your maintenance at a dealership is way more expensive, but is it worth it? The first question you have to ask yourself is, what are you doing? Are you doing a simple oil change? Well, majority of people can do that. Even most dads can do an oil change. So there's a little less risk doing that. I do highly recommend, though, you do check your reviews before you take it to a random auto repair shop, because there are some lazy auto repair shops, and I've seen so many horror stories of places at Walmart, Jiffy Lubes that just forget to put oil in a car and the engine blows up. Now, obviously, there's a whole bunch of logistics go to that. I just say look at some reviews before you choose the oil changes, but let's talk about actually repairing your car. Now, with these newer vehicles, they have become more and more complicated each and every year. When we're talking about the benefits, there are pros and cons to each. Obviously, the dealership is going to be more expensive, but there are pros. And the biggest pro, I would say, is that you have a technician that is trained on your car. Now, when we talk about it on the dealership level, we truly say that each make and model is like getting its doctorate in that vehicle. And there is completely different language from reading a Honda than there is reading a Chevy. So knowing that if you're taking your car to a Chevy tech, they might have no idea how to work on the technology in a Honda. They can be completely different. Some techs can work their way around it. But if you want a tech that is fully trained on the car that you're working on, you should probably take it to that manufacturer's dealer. Now, the biggest reason I would say to take your car to the dealership is if it's under warranty, because it's all covered. I know this seems pretty common sense, but I've seen plenty of people that say they won't take it to the dealership no matter what, because it's a 45-minute drive versus a 15-minute drive to your local mechanic. If it's your car, cars are expensive. If it's under warranty, it doesn't cost you anything. Drive the 45 minutes, because this is going to lead into the next point, which is most dealerships have loaner cars. So as long as you call ahead and say, hey, I'm driving 45 minutes to be there, I can't wait around, I need a loaner car for the work, they'll get you a loaner car almost always free of charge, as long as you schedule it ahead. A key point is don't do a drive-in and expect to get a loaner cars. These loaner cars are hot commodities, and there is a chance you won't get one. So always call ahead and get one reserved to make sure you can get in and get out. Otherwise, most dealerships also have a shuttle service. And this one's small, but some people are picky. For me, when I had my BMW, I was picky. But OEM parts, so original manufacturer parts versus third party. If you're going to a dealership, you're almost always getting OEM parts. That's why part of the reason why the parts are more expensive. They're not third party, they're not knockoffs, they're right from the manufacturer. So because of that, if you want that in your car, knowing a dealership's going to be the way to go, because most third party dealerships, auto mechanics are going to be using third party parts. When we talk about why using an auto repair shop, there's two big benefits. First off is cost. Cost is going to be different. Now, the cost isn't drastically different. I have some people think it's $30 to do an oil change at an auto repair shop and then $140 to do it at a dealership. The cost isn't that different. It's probably about a 20% difference. But the big thing that you're actually going to do is time. With an auto repair shop, you can get in almost anywhere at any time. Compared to a dealership, my local dealership, when I looked just recently, they had a 3-week waiting list in service to get my car into a mechanic. So knowing there's going to be a longer wait list for repairs, but on the auto repair shop, you can get in the next day. What do? It depends on the vehicle I'm driving. For my Subaru, I normally take that to a dealership while it's under warranty, and then I take it to whatever mechanic I trust that can do an oil change and do something simple, because there's very little maintenance. Now, when it came to my BMW, my M5, that was a little bit different. I actually wanted to make sure that car was as well maintained as possible while not breaking the bank, because a car like that, the dealership is going to ream you a new one. So I did a lot of research, and I found the best BMW tech that I could find in my town, and I took it to him. This guy knew more about cars than I think anybody I've ever met, especially BMWs, and it was his passion. And every time I talked to the guy, he had so much to tell me about the cars that were coming in, tell me about my car, that I knew that I could trust my car no matter what, and he always gave me a good or fair deal. When it came to OEM parts versus third-party parts, he wasn't afraid to tell me this is when you should go OEM and this is when you should go this, but it took a lot of research and a lot of trial or error. If you have a nicer car and you want to make sure it's maintained while still getting a good deal, I honestly felt better taking my BMW to him than I did any BMW tech, because he was all the certified and all the same. So if you can find a third-party tech that is certified, that's a double win. We all know maintenance is expensive, but it's required. You have to do it in order to maintain your warranty. So when it comes to this, I just want to give you guys some pros and cons. So you guys know from an insider, for somebody that's been in the industry for a long time, should you do maintenance at a dealership or should you do it at a local mechanic? Let me know what you guys do in the comments below.